Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Nur Amiti Mafib. I will talk about the introduction of the governance of the GLC, which is the Malaysian GLC as a hybrid organizations, which is the Malaysian government-linked companies. GLC is balanced financial performance and their social responsibilities. They contribute to the national development while operating as a business entities. Origin of the GLC through privatizations. Many GLC were formerly government agency or public corporation privatizations during the 1918. Privatizations aim to improve efficiency and economic participation. So, due to that, have the objective of the privatizations like increase Bumiputra participations in the economic activities under the new economic policy, which is NEP, also reduce government burden in providing public service. So, we move to the role of the government-linked investment company, which is GLC. For example, we have 4 measures like Khazanah Nasional, Ministry of Finance, Incorporate, and Employees Provident Fund, which is EPF, and also Permodanan Nasional Berhad PNB, and so on.
Thank you, Ain. My name is Nur Aina Damia. For this section, I will explain the conceptual background of governance in government-linked companies or GLCs. The governance emerged as an important concept in public administrations because traditional government systems were often criticized for being too bureaucratic and inefficient. According to Osborne 2006, governance refers to the process and relationships through which public and private actors work together to manage public affairs and achieve common goals. In the context of GLCs, governance refers to the rules, the policies, and process that guide and monitor organizational activities. Since GLCs are partly owned by the government, they must balance commercial objectives with public responsibilities. Therefore, governance helps ensure accountability, the transparency, ethical conduct, and effective performance management. The importance of governance increased during the 1980s and 1990s when governments introduced public sector reforms to improve efficiency and service quality. As a result, governance frameworks were developed to strengthen organizational control, improve performance, reduce political interference, and increase accountability to both the government and the public. Governance in GLC is implemented through mechanisms such as on-board oversight, performance evaluations, financial disclosure, risk management, and stakeholder engagement. This measure helps ensure that public resources are managed responsibly while supporting national development goals. Governance is closely linked to new public management or NPM. Both approaches focus on improving performance and accountability. However, NPM emphasizes efficiency and private sector management practices, while governance takes a broader approach by emphasizing collaboration, stakeholder, and participation, also share accountability. In the conclusions, governance is essential for ensuring that GLCs operate efficiently, transparently, and sustainably while balancing business performance with public interest. Thank you.
Thank you, Damia. My name is Amira Hanis binti Ahmad Rosli, and I will continue with the international practices of GLC governance. GLCs play an important role in national economic development by supporting strategic industries, improving competitiveness, and contributing to economic growth. Two successful examples are Singapore and China, although both countries manage their GLCs differently. Singapore's GLC are managed through Temasek Holdings, established in 1974. Although fully owned by the government, Temasek operates independently, allowing professional managers to make business decisions without political interference. It focuses on good corporate governance, emphasizing on transparency, accountability, and professional management. Temasek follows international corporate governance standards, while the government acts mainly as a shareholder rather than managing daily operations. This governance model has improved efficiency and allowed Singapore's GLCs to remain globally competitive. Next is China State-Owned Enterprises SOEs. In China, GLCs are known as State-Owned Enterprises SOEs. SOEs are owned and supervised by the government and operate in strategic industries such as telecommunications, energy, and transportation. One example is China Mobile, one of the world's largest telecommunications companies. Chinese SOEs receive strong government support through financing, subsidies, government procurement, regulatory advantages. Besides generating profits, SOE also support China's national economic and political objectives, including international expansion.
Thank you, Mira. Next, I will talk about the problem statement and literature gap. Problem statement, we have 4, which is conflicting mandates, second, political interference and patronage, third, lack of a competitive neutrality, and fourth is the impact of the governance and performance. So the conflicting mandates, GLC must balance 2 goals, which is generated profits and fulfilling social and national responsibility. Second, political interference and patronage. Board members and executive may be appointed based on the political connections rather than expertise. This can weaken meritocracy and create conflict of the interest. Third is the lack of a competitive neutrality. Government support give the GLC advantages over private companies. Smaller private firms may struggle to compete. So this can limit innovation and discourage private investment. So the fourth is impact of the governance and the performance. It can impact to the weak of financial disciplines, lack of transparency and inefficient management of the public resources. Next, I will talk about the literature gap. So we have 3 main points. First is dual mandates and performance evaluation. GLC must achieve both financial and goals, social responsibility. Existing studies mainly focus on the financial performance and often ignore social contributions. Second is political appointments and meritocracy. Good governance recommended independence and merit based on the board appointments. However, political influence still affects board selection and decision making. In the gap, limited solution exists to reduce political interference. And the third is the environmental and social and governance, which is ESG. Research of ESG practice in the GLC is still limited. So, due to that, GLC tend to focus more on the governance requirements than environmental and social issue. The gap is more study are needed on the balanced ESG implementation. So overall of the gap is the current governance framework do not address the uniqueness of the challenges faced by the GLC in the balancing of profitability, social responsibilities, and political influence, and also the sustainability.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Adiba, and I will continue with the methodology. For this study, we use the secondary source analysis as our main method. Basically, we didn't collect new data. We analyze and examine and synthesize existing documents to understand GLC governance. Our sources come from 3 main types. First is academic journals. These are peer-reviewed, so they give us solid theory and research on governance on GLC. Second is new article from trusted media. This help us get current issue and expert view. The last one is online source like official websites, annual reports and governance guidelines for accurate policy details. We choose this method because it lets us explore theories and current issue comprehensively, and all our discussion is based on authentic, reliable information. Our analysis is descriptive and critical. We describe what we found, then evaluate the key issue and challenges. So that's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter.
Thank you, Diba. Here I will continue with the Malaysian context of GLC. Malaysia has one of the largest GLC sectors in Southeast Asia. GLCs are owned through government-linked investment companies, GLICs, such as Khazanah Nasional, Permodalan Nasional Berhad (PNB), Employees Provident Fund (EPF), and Lembaga Tabung Haji (TH). These organizations support national development, industrial growth, and wealth distribution. During the COVID-19 pandemic, GLCs became even more important. The government used GLCs to support the economy through stimulus packages. The Berkukuh initiative strengthened coordination among GLICs to accelerate economic recovery. Next, to improve GLC performance, Malaysia established the Putrajaya Committee on GLC High Performance (PCG) in 2005. Its objectives were to improve governance, introduce international best practices, increase accountability, strengthen management, and benchmark against global companies. Malaysia also introduced key performance indicators, KPIs, to measure both financial and non-financial performance. KPIs help in improve efficiency, increasing accountability, strengthen public service delivery, ensuring good governance. Some Malaysian GLCs, such as MMG Berhad, also adopted the Balanced Scorecard (BSC) to improve strategic planning and organizational performance. Despite all these contributions, Malaysian GLCs still face several challenges. Political influence, corruption and cronyism, reduced private sector competition, government bailouts and subsidies, and wealth concentration. Therefore, while GLCs are essential to Malaysia's economic growth, continuous governance reforms are needed to improve efficiency, transparency, and competitiveness. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Amira Hanis. Assalamualaikum and good day, everyone. My name is Nurin Adani binti Ahmad Tajuddin. In this section, I will present the findings and analysis of our report, focusing on the governance challenges faced by government-linked companies, which is also known as GLC in Malaysia. Based on our analysis, there are two major governance issues that significantly affect the effectiveness and accountability of Malaysian GLC. The first issue is political interference in board appointments and governance, while the second issue is weak accountability mechanism together with inadequate performance monitoring. These two issues are closely connected because when board independence is affected by political influence, the effectiveness of monitoring and accountability system can also become weaker. The first major finding is related to political interference in GLC board appointments. Ideally, board members of GLC should be selected based on professional qualifications, expertise, and their ability to make decisions that support the company objective. However, problems will occur when appointments are influenced by political connections rather than merit and competency. This situation creates challenges because board members may prioritize political interests or relationship instead of focusing on corporate performance and good governance. One of the main cause of this issue is Malaysia's political patronage culture, where appointments can become a way of rewarding political support and loyalty. In addition, weaknesses in the nomination and screening process allow individuals to be appointed without sufficient transparency and evaluation. Furthermore, GLC often have a dual role. They are expected to achieve commercial success while also supporting government social and economic objectives. However, when political interests become dominant, it may create conflicts between business performance and political goals. The implication of political interference is that it can reduce board independence, weaken decision-making quality, and affect the overall performance of GLC. It can also reduce public confidence because people may question whether decisions are made based on professional judgment or political interest. Moving on to the second issue, our findings also highlight weaknesses in accountability mechanism and performance monitoring. Although GLC have existing governance structure such as boards, audit committees, investment committees, and key performance indicator or KPI, these mechanisms are sometimes ineffective in practice. For example, issues identified include ineffective leadership, continuous loose, poor monitoring of company performance, and decisions being made without proper approval or oversight. These problems show that having governance structure alone is not enough in enforcement and monitoring system are weak. Another challenge is that some KPI may not effectively measure actual performance or may not be connected with consequences for poor results. This creates a situation where managers may still receive benefit despite unsatisfactory performance. The impact of weak accountability can be seen in several areas. Firstly, it increases the risk of misconduct and corruption because poor decisions may not receive appropriate consequences. Secondly, it affects strategic planning because management may not be motivated to achieve long-term organizational goals. Lastly, it can lead to inefficient use of public resources and reduce public trust toward government-linked institutions. And I will pass to the next presenter.
Next, I will talk about the comparative reflection. This section compares the governance of government-linked companies or GLCs in Malaysia, Singapore, and China. A key difference is the level of government involvement. In Singapore, GLC operates with a high degree of autonomy through Temasek Holdings, where the government mainly acts as a shareholder. So this allows the companies to make business decisions independently and focus on commercial performance. In the contrast of China's state-owned enterprises are more closely controlled by the government and are expected to support national strategic objectives. As a result, management autonomy is generally lower. So, Malaysia adopts a middle ground approach through government-linked investment companies such as Khazanah Nasional. GLC are allowed to operate commercially while still supporting government priorities and national development goals. In terms of governance and accountability, Singapore is recognized for its strong corporate governance practices, the transparency and professional management. Malaysia has also introduced reforms through the GLC Transformations Programme and the Malaysia Code on Corporate Governance. However, concern regarding political appointments and board independence still exists. To compare to China, Malaysia provides greater managerial autonomy and competitiveness. However, compared to Singapore, there is still room for improvement in strengthening governance standards. To be summed, Malaysia's governance model combines elements of Singapore's market-oriented approach and China's state-direct model. Moving forward, Malaysia can enhance the effectiveness and sustainability of its GLCs by strengthening transparency, board independence, and professional management while continuing to support national development objectives. That's all from me. Thank you.
Now I will continue with the recommendation. Next, our findings show two main problems in GLC governance: politically influenced boards and weak accountability with poor performing monitoring. So we have two recommendations. First, make board appointments professional, use merit-based selection with fixed and proper criteria, and set up independent nomination committee. Any political connection must be disclosed. Second, strengthen the accountability, enforce KPI and audit committees strictly, link rewards to the performance, and create an independent central unit to monitor all GLC. If we do this, GLC governance will shift from the patronage to a rules-based system. This will improve the transparency, reduce conflict of interest, and also restore the public trust. So that's all from me.
Thank you everyone. To conclude, the governance of GLC plays an important role in ensuring that public resources are managed effectively, transparently and responsibly. Although Malaysia has introduced governance reforms such as the GLC Transformation Programme, several challenges still remain, especially regarding political influence in board appointments and weaknesses in accountability and performance monitoring system. This issue can affect the independence of board, reduce organizational efficiency and weaken public confidence in GLC. Therefore, improvements are needed through a more transparent and merit-based board appointment system, stronger monitoring mechanism, and clearer accountability measures. By reducing political interference and strengthening governance practice, Malaysia GLC can operate more effectively and instrument for economic development while maintaining professionalism, transparency, and public trust. Thank you, everyone.